Alright, so this is how I made the Dynamite Jim's insult box. Started out with some PVC for the sticks, and it's 1.25 inch outer diameter and 1 inch inner diameter. It's real nice stuff, but it's in millimeter. I forgot what it is because I got it at a Japanese store. I used just a regular tube cutter to cut them into 13-inch lengths. Drilled some holes in them. There's 7, so there's a central one, and then they all got screwed to the outsides. So there's 6 on the outside, 1 in the middle. Just use regular wood screws. The short ones are for securing the box to the bundle. This is Jim's box. It was a real nice cigar box, lacquered burgundy, but need to draw lines on it, cut holes in it and stuff. And he's like, I don't really care what you do with it as long as it insults me when you're done with it. Which I was like, okay. So I stripped it, drew some lines on it, and I'll refinish it after the fact. These are for the giant push buttons for like their arcade game push buttons. Toggle switch, speaker, main power switch, and the main power jack in. Oops. That's just another shot of the screw holes and how it got secured to the bundle. So there was a couple of things that I originally had wanted to include on this. One being a clock, because that was the joke. It's supposed to look like a clock. And then another one was a coaster that you would have to set your drink down on, since he was going to put this in his bar. He wanted to I proposed that making a coaster that you set your drink down that flipped a couple of two-way switches, so that in order for you to continue in drunk mode, you would have to put your drink down. But it ended up not working, and that's what all these I forgot what those kinds of switches are called. But anyway, I ended up not using them because that idea didn't end up working with the Petit Crouton. So, but either way, electronics, wires, and shit, that's cool too, isn't it? So this is 22 gauge, just regular wire, black and red. These devices have wires and shit sticking out of them, so I figured, hey, may as well grab some, make them curly and whatnot. So I coiled them up like this, and I'll come back to that a little bit later. And then got some red paper and just printed them out like this. And fortunately, what was kind of cool is that the toner started running out while I was printing this, so that by the time I got down to it, you can see how much lighter it is. It started to fade and whatnot, so it gave a couple of different degrees of intensity as the words and stuff like that. So that was kind of a neat little thing that was unplanned, but cool. This was the plan of the electronics, originally to include the coaster. Yes, this is how I plan out my wiring. Don't judge. You can shut your face. So the box ended up being black. I found some really cool kind of rubber sealant. So after it got primered, I sprayed on this rubber sealant so that it doesn't. It's basically just like a polyurethane, but it's kind of rubbery on the outside of it. So it'll seal the wood in case, like I said, it's going on his bar in case he spills anything on it. But no offense, Jim, but you know that's what happens at bars. The shit gets spilled. But after that, I just spray painted it black. And so it's protected now, and it's black, and it's got stripes on it, which you've probably already seen, like that. That's just reflective hazard tape. Found that at local hardware store, so ended up looking pretty cool. This is what the bundle looks like when it's all wrapped up in the dynamite paper and stuff like that. The ends here are still, I haven't collapsed those yet because I got to put the wires and stuff on there too. So the screws, I put all the screws lined up so that when you wrap the tape around it, it covers up all the screws and stuff. So that was kind of a neat little thing. So the wires, little scraps of 1-inch tube, specifically because it's got a 1-inch inner diameter. So I unraveled everything, or took them off the little PVC tubes, and then made these kind of nunchuck things out of them, and then glued these in, and pretty much instead of having to worry about gluing these directly to the insides of the tubes that have paper and stuff all wrapped up in it. All I did was just slick the ends of these, or the outsides of these, with like some cyanoacrylate, and then put it in there, and 10 seconds later, bang. And that's how it looks. That's kind of the rough mock-up. It's all screwed together, so it's fairly solid. The only thing is that it's got the jiggly bits and stuff all over it. This is the guts, how it looks. I put extra guts in there just to give it a look of a little bit more busyness, but obviously it's not using all of these giant ass capacitors and super micro components and stuff like that, but really the PC itself is just that little thing on top. I just put the other stuff in there for prettiness and whatnot. The switches, however, are giant, so that took up a lot of space too, which was kind of cool. It just looks cool. The wires are all coiled up right here. There's an extra strip holding that on here, and there's another one on the other side, and then a couple of zip ties on the side, so that while yes, they are jiggly bits, they are not quite as jiggly as they would be without the securing. And that's what it looks like. The front, instead of using the cigar box, I ended up just using some acrylic, which ended up looking pretty nice. And on top of that, you can see all the cool stuff inside. This is just like a piece of plastic that comes with like a clock, but I put it on there just for the shit of it, and you can easily take it off. So Jim, if you don't like it, you can take it off. But otherwise, just printed out some labels and stuff like that, so it gave it that whole kind of DIY utility feel to it. I was really fortunate that I found one of these switches at a local store, which is pretty cool just because of the fact that it's cool and you know that it's on because the whole damn thing is open, and then it's fun just turning it off because then you just slam it all shut. So insult. Push this button to insult someone. And that's pretty much it. And those are the pictures. And that's all. Oh, and then we're done. See you later.